What is happening in there? Gamer Dude here, and IGN just recently released a list of their top 25 best anime series of all time. And I couldn't help but just kind of look at it and be like, alright, what kind of taste have we got going on here? Because normally these are just really sort of popular shows that are just picked for the sake of being nice and stuff, so I figured I'd just have a look through and just kind of react to it. Plus it gives, some good amount of content, I suppose, to just kind of be able to criticize and, nobody likes IGN, etc, etc. So I thought I'll just run through and have a quick look and make a video about it as well, because I haven't actually seen this list yet. I've only seen the first pick, and yeah, let's just actually jump into it. The first pick that they've got here is Haikyuu, which, okay. I mean, I really like Haikyuu. It is a really good, solid choice. I don't watch a lot of sports anime, so that for me is the best that I've seen at the moment. Season 1, very solid. Not the best, but Season 2, Season 3, carries the show super hard with the training arcs, the fact that Season 3 is just a single match split across 10 episodes against just 2 schools. Like, it's intense. God damn, it's so good though. But I'm pretty sure there are better sports anime that you could probably put here. But then again, when you think about manga, you'll probably think about Real, which is about wheelchair basketball, and not Kuroko no Basket, I was going to say Slam Dunk, but I haven't actually seen that personally, so I can't, critique that. You could have put Ping Pong the animation. If you're going baseball, then you've got Ace of Diamond. You've got, again, if you're like a Fujoshi, you'd probably say Free is better. It just depends on what you watch and what you're into. I think Haikyuu did an incredible job of just introducing volleyball and understanding the rules and just kind of dramatizing things enough to the point where it just seemed like a good sort of edge of your seat kind of watch, which was really neat. But I'm pretty sure there are better options. So, I wouldn't call it the best of all time, but okay, it's really good, I guess. So I guess that's a solid start, to be honest. Trigun. Trigun was okay. Trigun was good. I think Trigun was good. But when you think about space westerns, I mean, Space Dandy was actually kind of just as, if not more so, entertaining than Trigun was. A classic show, I guess. That's probably why it was picked. But then, Ginga Eiyu Densetsu, Legend of the Galactic Heroes would probably have been what I would have picked here. If it was space, sci-fi. Trigun. I just can't seem to see why it's one of the best. It is pretty old, but it's no Cowboy Bebop. That's what I'll say. It's good. It's just no Cowboy Bebop, which I feel like that's what this list is going for. I mean, okay. Again, Ginga Eiyu Densetsu I would probably put as a sci-fi if they were looking for one instead of Trigun. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I like Dragon Ball as much as the next guy, but I feel like Super made me realize Dragon Ball was not good. That it wasn't even okay. It was just borderline, we're running out of ideas. But I haven't rewatched Dragon Ball Z much, and if I were to pick any part of Dragon Ball, I think original Dragon Ball would probably have been better. Because Z stretched things out to an insane extent. At least Dragon Ball kept things somewhat consistent, and it was the growth of Son Goku. Also, I do not remember much of Dragon Ball Z, so I can't really speak to the show much. So honestly, I'll probably skip talking about this. But yeah, if I were to put Dragon Ball at all, I'd probably put in, original Dragon Ball. I wouldn't talk about Super. In fact, you know what? The Broly movie was actually really good, but even then, I wouldn't call it one of the best of all time. So this is really, I feel like, more so for nostalgia bait. Okay, My Hero. Number 22. My Hero is really good. As in, only season 2 is really good. Season 1 was a solid introduction. 3 completely dropped the ball. 4 had some good stuff going for it. 5 also completely dropped the ball. And now we're at season 6. When I think of like a show that's like one of the best of all time, I also like to think of how consistently good it is across from beginning to end. And it's dropped the ball real hard multiple times across each of the seasons, with the exception of season 2, which is what I like the most. Season 6 at the moment is incredibly solid, and I'm getting out of it what I wanted, but I would not put that on this list. Definitely not. It's not one of the best of all time. It's going to be hard to come up with like the top 25 best of all time, but, you know, I don't think I would put My Hero on there, if I'm being completely honest. Hell, even the movies. And then, like, what season are we talking about? It seems like they're just talking about My Hero just sort of generally. But now that I've kind of given the next one away, number 21, Made in Abyss. This might actually be the first one I agree with. Made in Abyss is incredibly good. That reminds me, I need to buy and play the game, because there's a Made in Abyss game that came out this year. And I mean, even if the game's not good, I mean, it's still more Made in Abyss, and I think it might actually be the story from the original season. I still haven't seen season 2, which I think is either currently airing or just recently aired, somewhere around something along those lines. But yeah, you know, Made in Abyss, this one I'm not going to talk too much about, because if you're going to go into watching it, it's better that you know as little as possible. And I would say this one I agree with. This one I would actually put in there, in the 25. JoJo. So, number 20, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and it's talking about the entire series. JoJo I would absolutely put on there, but that's because it's personally my favorite. Personally, I really, really like JoJo. But then it's weird to describe because I'm not too compelled to watch part 6 at the moment, because I'm waiting for all of it to drop, and then I'll just watch it all at once, as I did from part 1 through to part 5. And then when I really even think about it, part 1 was incredibly short and only existed to, you know, set up the actual characters, the original characters, and then the world. Then part 2 comes around, and then it kind of shows a slight shift in, like, a bunch of Europeans blowing up or attacking Nazis while taking on Nazi zombies, like Nazi zombies. Oh god, I love part 2. That was so good. Oh my god. But yeah, part 2 was still like it wasn't great, and kind of like introduced powers to the show that then evolved into part 3, which was incredibly long and kind of drawn out to an extent, but it gave us some of the most iconic characters and the iconic scenes that we know and love. Part 4 shifts the genres altogether, and then things become significantly more interesting with the addition of the villain, which was, I think, introduced probably in the later half of part 4. And that's when things really started to ramp up. So I guess the first half was more just a sort of slice of life, get to know the characters, get to know the world, and then once all of that's happened, we can then start, you know, trying to really drag you in through the mud when we've got a hold of you in that first half. And part 5 is just pure stylishness, I think, at its best. Actually, what would my favorite part be? I really like part 4. But I think part 5 is really, really good as well. It would be between 4 and 5. I think I'd say 4, because the villain is really good. And I actually kind of enjoy the shift to a sort of slice of life element while bringing in the elements of JoJo. And from part 1 through to part 5, you can kind of see how the story goes, because it's all about an entire family or the generation of the various generations of the Joestar family, and just how the family kind of goes through this entire arc. So yeah, I mean, this one I would agree with, now that I think about it. Naruto Shippuden. Best anime series of all time. No. I would definitely not put this on there. If there was no filler, it could be. Because the story is incredibly solid when you remove the filler and only consider the main plot points. It's a pretty... At least I enjoyed it, but then again, I didn't watch the anime, I played the games, which from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden 2, and then, so Naruto, the original game, was not part of Shippuden, it only did the original sort of manga run, and then 2 and 3 and 4 were all part of Shippuden, including a little bit from Boruto, which I guess, I suppose the fact that Boruto exists is enough for me to be like, no, probably not. One of the big three for sure, but I wouldn't put it on here. I'd rather put Bleach on here, if I'm being honest. And even then, the Aizanar kind of ruined everything. But at least Bleach looked cool. Even then, I probably wouldn't put Bleach. There are better shonens that you could probably put on here. But also the fact that there have been multiple shonen so far, like Naruto, JoJo, My Hero, Dragon Ball, Haikyuu. Literally significant majority of them are shonen, and there's no reason for there to be this many shonen in a single list. There are so many other genres. There's shoujo. Like, you could put Nana on here as well. You could put Nana on here. If you wanted to go for nostalgia bait, you could go for for nostalgia bait, if you wanted to do that. Cardcaptor Sakura, like, again, I wouldn't put that on this list necessarily, but I mean, it's there. Death Note. Okay, this one I would agree with. How many have I agreed with so far? So Death Note I'm agreeing with, JoJo I'm agreeing with, Maiden Abyss 3 so far, Haikyuu's a maybe. So I'm agreeing with 4 so far, if I include Haikyuu. Sort of like a fight between like some guy who's in school who thinks of himself as a genius and has like a way too much of a complex against an actual investigator, as you write names in a book and people die because you wrote their name in the book. Simple concept. Second half kind of ruins it. Not going to mention why. I don't want to go into spoilers. I'm just like trying to go around things as much as I can. I don't know if I would put Death Note on here, actually, now that I think about it. I'd need to do a solid rewatch, so I'm probably not going to talk much into this one, but Death Note is maybe leaning more towards a no. I probably would not agree now that I think about it, because all of the intrigue and good stuff was lost pretty much after the halfway mark, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Attack on Titan? No. I would not agree with this one, because the thing about it is, what I was mentioning earlier about consistency, as long as it remains good from beginning to end, it needs to keep the pace up. Attack on Titan dropped the ball season 1 and season 2 and parts of season 3. It is not worth sitting through 2 to 3 seasons of a show in order to get to the good stuff, when, to be completely honest, it was, if you wanted it to be good and compelling from the beginning. But then again, I only watched season 1 because so many people were hyping it up. I then found it okay. And then season 2 dropped, and I thought that was bad. And so I never considered going back. I have since gone back, and I'm up to the newest season, and whenever the final season part 2 drops, I'm obviously going to be watching that. But is it one of the best of all time? No, I would not say that. Season 1 and 2 are too much of a lurch. Yes, it's all build up for the good stuff to really be impactful, but even then, you need to understand, or at least I want to understand, how much weight versus how much payoff is actually worth both the sum of both parts. Is it worth waiting 2 to 3 seasons in order to get to the good stuff? For something like Steins Gate, which I would absolutely put on this list, it is. The first half is boring. It is getting you accustomed to the world and the characters because it's building everything up. The second half, after the build-up is done, the roller coaster afterwards is so good that it kind of makes up for how boring it was in the first half. But that's 24 episodes. For Attack on Titan, we're talking Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 Part 1, Season 3 Part 2, Final Season Part 1, Final Season Part 2. We're waiting for the 6th season, where the first 2 to 2.5, arguably first 3 seasons, the third one being Season 3 Part 1, I still think it kind of dropped the ball enough, because all of this intrigue is not going to make any... it has a disappointing ending, we already know that. I don't know how it ends. I know that it is just disappointing, but nothing could be possibly worth like waiting the first 2. Because also with it, like, you want the ending to stick. Even if the ending is not great, at least as long as it's okay, you're fine. Because most shows generally don't have a good ending. Dead Man Wonderland is a pretty good example of that. But again, another shonen on the list for Attack on Titan, and I'm pretty sure Death Note might also be one as well. I don't know where it's published, so I'll probably need to double check that. Ouran High School Host Club? No. Like, again, I mentioned other shoujo series before that would rather deserve the spot, and Nana is definitely one that I would much rather put on here. This is 100% nostalgia bait, and just has to be, you know? I can't imagine it being here for any other reason. God damn it, though. I still see Honey down here with his, like, bunny, and I keep forgetting that he's, like, the oldest one there. Think about that for a moment. He's the oldest one. Also, like, Maid Summer would have been better. Kaicho or Maid Summer actually would have also been a good one to put on as a shoujo series. I'm sure there's more. I don't remember a lot of shoujo off the top of my head, but yeah, I probably wouldn't put Ouran High School Host Club on here. Devilman Crybaby, based on a really old manga series called Devilman back from the 1950s, 1960s. During that time, it was, like Devilman was a very, very good manga. And so that's kind of why people might think that, it might seem a bit derivative or something like that. Devilman Crybaby is a very good time. I would say, I would agree with this one. Devilman Crybaby does deserve to be on this list. Yeah, unfortunately, Netflix, kind of just dropped all the episodes. But yeah, at the very least, like, this was... I'm pretty sure Netflix didn't really have much of a hand in actually the creation of Devilman Crybaby. I think they just wanted to put a bunch of dollars behind having their name on it somehow. But anyway, Devilman Crybaby, this one I would actually properly agree with. Demon Slayer, another shonen on the list. Actually, what are the best shonen ever made? There's too many shows. There's too many franchises. It depends on what kind of shonen you're after, whether it be romance, action shonen. Actually, you know what? Gintama. Gintama would absolutely be my personal favorite shonen of all time, and I feel like it's extremely hard to beat. Demon Slayer does look incredible, and I mean, like, it doesn't set itself that much more apart from other shonen besides looking really good with the UFO table. So I suppose looks alone is enough to, I guess, put it on this list. But again, if I were to put in a shonen, even though most of it, this list is shonen, and they haven't even touched on like more sports, anime, or other genres, because there's so many. They did touch shoujo a bit there, but there's like horror, some more sort of psychological stuff, like Psycho Pass would definitely be one I would potentially consider on this list. God, I hope Gintama's on this list. I'm gonna be so disappointed if it isn't, because it's so funny, it's so irreverent, they've got so many good jokes. It genuinely is. Oh, and actually, Danchi Kokosei no Nichijo. God, I was about to say it like how it's in the how it's said in the show, where like how you sing out the actual name of the series. And I mean, if you're looking also at comedy, Nichijo as well. You know, it's like a lot of really good stuff that you can probably put on. Demon Slayer, that's a maybe for me. It doesn't give me a solid okay. At the very least, I mean, at least they kill off the characters, which is nice, unexpected, when necessary. Obviously, I think the main characters aren't going to die, but you know, it is what it is. And obviously, we don't want to sort of like, we don't want like a mega kill situation where like death means kind of nothing at that point. So at least it's used in an effective way. I think Demon Slayer, yeah, I would say it does deserve to be on this list, albeit on the lower end, just because it looks really nice and at least things progress in a good way, even if every character is by any definition an archetype, but then that's most shows anyways. Honorable mentions, Ramahalf. Okay, Kill la Kill. Okay, hold up. You what now? You cut Steins Gate off of this list. Steins Gate isn't on this list. Why? Why is Steins Gate not on here? A sci-fi... Would I call it a thriller? A sci-fi thriller. Steins Gate. The visual novel is absolutely incredible. This is an anime adaptation that was actually well done. Oh, God. Why? Why is Steins Gate not on this list? Some of these make sense. They could be very close. Like, I think Kill la Kill probably is pretty close. Chihaya Furu, but the thing is that like not a lot of people are going to know about it. Because it's based off of a manga, a shorter manga, I want to say, because the main character is a girl and there's a lot of guys involved. But it's about, you know, playing a card game essentially and being very good at it. A very traditional Japanese card game that I can't exactly remember the name of, but Steins Gate. I'm not looking forward to the rest of this list, if that's anything to go by. Code Geass. I'm just discounting the numbers and just considering whether or not they belong on this list. Code Geass, I'd say, absolutely does. I think 100%. First season was really good. This is the second season. If you can't put both on, second season would be the way to put. Would be the second one. Would be the one to put on. So, absolutely agree with that. Without going into too much more detail, Samurai Champloo. Yes, yes, I freaking love Samurai Champloo. Like, it's so good. The opening is so solid. It is Japanese, like, you put hip hop, you put Edo period together, and you get Samurai Champloo. It is just a fun time. Turn your brain off and enjoy. After Cowboy Bebop, Shinichiro Watanabe's... Oh, damn it, man. Yeah, Shinichiro Watanabe. He did some good stuff. Holy crap. Samurai Champloo, absolutely agree. It belongs on here. I absolutely agree it should be. So that's at least like a good sign. But given that what has passed by up until now and the fact that they didn't consider Steins Gate, well, they considered it but didn't put it in, hurts me on the inside. I mean, at least I don't go to other people for like opinions on anime. I'll just like watch it, but I've never dropped a show myself because you gotta know what's bad to know what's good. Easy as that. I absolutely love Samurai Champloo and I would absolutely rewatch it again. So good. I feel like more people should. It's not deep, it's just a fun time and it's good. That's really what it is. Baccano, I absolutely agree with that one. Okay, so they at least have some good points in here, some good shows. A lot that make me iffy and some that make me go straight up no, but at least they have some good stuff. Fooly Cooly. I haven't actually seen Fooly Cooly. I probably need to watch that. So I can't really speak to this one. So I'm gonna skip it. This one I probably should watch though. Yu Hakusho. So I would have put this in on the list over any part of Dragon Ball any day. Like if you were gonna go old school with like it has some of the best it has the best tournament arc of all time. And if you were to split the entire series, the first half is like sort of slice of life mystery with supernatural elements, and then the second half is battle shonen with like the whole sort of the dark tournament arc with Toguro and stuff like that. And now that this is on the list, it reminded me, holy crap, they're making a live action adaptation of Yu Hakusho, and I am very scared. How the hell are they going to do Toguro? They've already done some of the characters injustice, so let's just see how much more they can ruin from the series. But yeah, this is more of a nostalgia pick if you were to go through like shonen nostalgia picks. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Would I put this on the list? Yeah, I feel like this is significantly more of like a movement, but you would need everything to put NGE on this list. Actually, no, not necessarily. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I would absolutely put NGE on here, even if it wasn't, even without everything else. Just the original 1995, I want to say, series. I think I would absolutely say it does belong to be on here, because the intro is absolutely banging. People still try to find meaning in the ending, even though there was no meaning in the ending, because the actual creator came out, Hideaki Anno, and actually said there is no meaning in the ending, but it was a fun trip for as long as we were kind of here. There's a lot of depth in the series, which is actually kind of cool. And then they just attempt to redo everything, and it kind of ended with Neon NG 3.0 plus 1.0, which I don't think I've actually watched beyond the original series, so I would definitely put it on here just for that original 1995 series. It is absolutely, I think, one of the best, for reasons that people wouldn't consider a show to be the best. I think the opening is, I think, god tier, and it was just a fun ride to sit through. And I feel like that's more than you can say for most shows that are releasing at the moment, but then again, just me. Hunter x Hunter. I'm imagining they're talking about 2011 as opposed to the 1991 version, which I would absolutely put on there. Wait, would I put Hunter x Hunter on there? It was good and was really entertaining. People absolutely loved the Chimera Ant arc, but I remember absolutely hating that arc when it was airing, because that's when I was watching it, was while it was airing, and it felt way too long and unnecessary. But then again, this is someone who's actually currently watching One Piece, and yeah, like all of the arcs at the very least, like put together, make for a really good story with One Piece, which I would absolutely put on this list. Hunter x Hunter 2011, I'm not too sure about that, because it leaves on a cliffhanger, and I kind of wanted the series to keep going, but I don't know about this. 140-ish episodes, I want to say, is 2011, so yeah, this one's a maybe. I'd consider it, but I don't know if I'd put it on to like, top 25, like best of all time. Mob Psycho 100, haven't seen it, can't speak to it. I know people absolutely love it after, One Punch Man, so as much as I like One Punch Man as a comedy and stuff, I would choose different comedies and stuff. Mob Psycho, I'm sure, is like actually more sort of supernatural, something a little bit different. So, yeah. I'm not going to talk about Mob Psycho 100 too much because I haven't seen it. It is on my watch list, so hopefully I'll eventually get to it. Hajime no Ippo. The manga, yes, I would absolutely say is one of the best of all time because it's still going, even now, I think. Anime, no, I'm not too sure about that one. I haven't actually seen it, so I can't really criticize it or critique it, so I'm going to leave that one. People can fight about that as much as they like. I'm pretty sure they don't have a lot of episodes either. Monster. I haven't actually seen Monster. That's weird. That's another one on my watch list that I should really be watching. But instead I've spent the past year and a bit watching One Piece, so again, it probably shows where the priorities are at. But then again, like, once I finish watching One Piece, I'm thinking, what am I going to watch next? Obviously stuff like Monster is probably going to be on that list. Or rewatching Samurai Champloo, or just something completely different. So I'm probably not going to talk too much about that, but I know that Monster is a highly sought after and appreciated manga. So I hope that the anime adaptation did well, but I can't really speak to it. One Piece, I at the very least agree, because you don't keep something going for as long as it has been going for without it at least being appreciated by an incredibly wide audience. Let's say audience. But just because something is popular doesn't mean it's good, so there is that as well. Best of all time, I would agree, because I feel like it's gone on for too long for it not to be. Actually, no. Scratch that, because there are longer shows that are still going to this day, like Detective Conan and stuff like that. So I suppose One Piece just generally is, because it's too much. It's too big. I feel. No, but then that still goes into like the popularity argument. When you watch it and go through and see how things are linked together, you kind of get it, but you need to jump in and realize it for yourself. The problem is, unless you've already started watching, I can't recommend jumping into it. I spent the past year watching it, and I'm halfway through the Riviera arc. And then after that, it's Wano Kuni, which took 3 years to air, which hopefully won't take me 3 years to watch, but rather, I might be able to get through those, like, 200 episodes? Yeah, I've got about 240 episodes to go, so, to catch up. But then I'll be, like, a bunch more episodes behind anyways, so, yeah. It's good. I very much enjoy it. And I would absolutely put it on this list. I think, yeah, it deserves to be on here. Cowboy Bebop, 100% deserves to be here. Without a doubt. It is so very good. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. It's still... how many episodes is it? Because I know it's not the last... The last 2 episodes pretty much tie up the entire story, but the episode before those last 2 is, like, I think to me, like, one of the saddest episodes of the entire series, which kind of sucks, but yeah, it's I would absolutely agree with that. Now, before I go to number 1, this whole list will pretty much be discredited except for those that I agree with, like Cowboy Bebop and One Piece, that do deserve to be on here. If number 1 is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I don't know, man, I'm just gonna walk away. That's why I don't take other people's opinions, I'll just make my own. But I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna be number 1. This doesn't... I mean, there's no mention of Psychopaths. There's no mention of, what's it called? Death Parade. Nichijou. There are so many other things you could have put on this list, and there's so many that I'm missing. These are just a few off the top of my head. If I actually did some research, I'd probably, be able to pick up a lot of really good ones. Nana, again, is another one that I mentioned earlier on. I'm sure there's more that I probably mentioned earlier on, like Ping Pong, the animation. There's also probably, like, I don't know, Baccano does deserve, Samurai Champloo does. Gintama is not on this list. Steins Gate is not on this list. Oh my god. So much stuff that's not on this list that absolutely could have been on here. Granted, this is like a list that is purely subjective, but you can't not have some of the stuff that I mentioned on there. Like Steins Gate especially, I feel like is really missing. And if you're going for nostalgia, then why not go for the original Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, it's not great. It's not good particularly, but it's so entertaining. I feel like if you were going to put Naruto on here, you could have put Bleach on here easily. As well. Even if, like, the the Aranka arc did ruin everything, and then everything just kind of fell apart after that. And now it's coming back swinging with the, with the 1,000 Year Blood War arc. Like, I mean, Space Dandy is a pretty good one though. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is not on this list, which is unfortunate. Maiden Abyss is really good. I don't know. I went into this kind of like excited and looking forward to actually watching the looking through this list, and now I'm like disappointed. I don't know, man. Take from this whatever you will. I made a bunch of suggestions. Come on, at least I don't know anymore. What do the comments look like? That's what I'm curious about now. What do the comments of this look like? Ah, God, it's gonna be an absolute bloodbath. What else could they have put on there? It's undeniable. It was a breakthrough series. Yes, it was. I'm not going to deny that. 90s actual good series. Ginga Densetsu, I'm pretty sure that's older than the 90s, but like Cowboy Bebop is probably the only one in the 90s I'd say was actually good. Trigun, Attack on Titan, Death Note, Fate Zero. Fate gets too much because of Fate fans. Psycho Pass was absolutely missed on the list. I'm just going through the lists, comments to see what was missed. Fate Zero is a maybe, but I just don't want to give Fate fans too much. Escaflowne. Hell yeah, oh my god, I forgot about Berserk. Oh no, wait, no, anime adaptation. The 1997 adaptation was good. 2016 was really bad. The Golden Age Arc 3, the 3 Golden Age Arc movies, I've got the poster of the 3rd movie right behind me because I absolutely love Berserk. As a manga, I would absolutely put it on there. Yeah, again, Psycho Pass is missing. Steins Gate absolutely missing. Vinland Saga could have absolutely been on here. Ping Pong, like I mentioned earlier, Rurouni Kenshin is a maybe. That one's a maybe. Demon Slayer, Baccano, MHA's, competent series. Yeah. I really enjoyed Maiden Abyss. Yeah, I'm just questioning whether or not it's one of the best. SAC. What the fuck is SAC? Cowboy Bebop is overrated. NGE just arguing that should be higher. Dot Hack. I don't even remember watching Dot Hack, or at least it's really old, so I just can't remember if I've actually seen it. Now you no longer see Akira Ninja Scroll Ghost in the Shell. That's right, Akira should. Oh, but this is best anime series, not anime movies. Which again, I suppose technically speaking, maybe. Let's go down a little bit more to see what's happening. There's no such thing as a perfect series, but if I were to ask people to watch the best show of all time, I would probably say go watch Death Parade. It's so very, very good. Came out 2014, but what can you do, you know? Jesus Christ, yes. Ghost in the Shell is absent. Where's Rurouni Kenshin Samurai X? Glad to see Brotherhood #1. Jesus Christ, no. Saint Seiya doesn't deserve to be on there, let's be real. Saint Seiya is an interesting one. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave the comment section and just go back to the top of the list and just end the video right here, because I don't know, I feel incredibly disappointed by the list. Again, there's so many more better things that you could have probably picked and put on this. You could have put, and hell, the fact that you put the top 25 means it needs to go in numbered order. But the thing is, I'm ignoring the numbers and just looking at the list, because the numbers mean absolutely nothing, because at the end of the day, it's just to cause a bunch of like anger amongst people, telling them that the like opinion is wrong or something like that. Yeah, you could have picked so much more. There's so much more out there. Yeah, I'm just gonna like walk out of this right now and just, yeah. I'm gonna see you guys next time. I'm gonna go play some video games, play some Elden Ring, enjoy something good instead of this garbage list. Jesus Christ. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with some of the stuff that's on here, best of all time, but like, yeah, again, everyone just has their own thing that they pick. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.